Alright, welcome everyone to another video. So with version 0.227 going live for Global MapleStory in early October 2021, I wanted to cover the changes to the Corsair job class, as there are a few positives as well as a few negatives to go over. Firstly, I'll cover a few neutral factors that are relating to the bullets, just to get them out of the way before going into the positives and negatives for each skill change. So in regards to the bullets, it appears that there were a few glitches where skills were not recognizing the type of bullet which was being used, which meant that the attack stat was not taken into account. For those of you who aren't aware, there are a number of different bullets available within the game which provide a variety of different attack stats. So ones like the Eternal bullets give the highest ones, and then I think the regular ones which you get when you first start out as a pirate are probably the lowest. The other change to the bullets is to Infinity Blast. Now, I had never come across this issue before, but apparently skills that consume bullets were no longer usable if your inventory ran dry of bullets. So they changed that so that Infinity Blast will still remain casted even if you run out of bullets in your inventory, and you can still continue to use those skills as long as that skill remains. So what I don't like about Infinity Blast right now is that when you run out of bullets entirely, you can't recast that skill because it uses 100 bullets per cast. What I'd really love to see is for them to change over to the same system that the Bowman classes use, where they don't actually have to have arrows within their inventory for them to cast their Infinity skill. It's I think they're staying a little bit too true to the concept of bullets for pirates. As much as I love the gimmick of having them in the inventory, it's a bit frustrating where if you're in a very, very long boss battle and you run out of bullets, you're in trouble. So yeah, that's pretty much everything across the bullets. It's interesting that those skills, and there are a lot of skills if you want to look at the entire listing, that didn't factor in the attack stat. It's a minor thing, but it's interesting that issue was there. Now onto the positives. An invincibility element has been added to target lock during casting so that you can use it and avoid being killed. It was also affected by the bullet attack stat not being factored in. Action delays have been reduced on 8 Legs Eastern and Ugly Bomb by 12% and 16% respectively. This is great as it allows you to move on faster to continue attacking or dodging an incoming attack from a boss. Death trigger has been changed so that when casted, if there are no enemies nearby to ricochet off, bullets will ricochet off the air instead and rebound towards an existing enemy. If you've got a mob that you've used para-targeting on, it will also focus on that mob first before attacking other enemies. Ahoy Mateys has been changed so that every crewman's stats will increase together as long as one crewman is active. So now on to the negatives. Death Trigger has had a damage decrease at level 25 from 1,150% to 650%, and the number of attacks goes down from 11 to 7. I'm not really sure what reason they had behind making this change, or just needing to tinker with the skill at all, as I felt like it was a really great skill when it got introduced, because it was one of the later 5th job skills to come in, because I believe it only came in probably within the last year or two, I'd say, along with a number of different skills for different classes, but it's a great skill to use on both bosses and mobs, so it's a shame to see it lose almost half of the attack numbers, and then the damage decrease of almost 50%. So that's a big drop. But I think the ricochet elements is interesting because if you don't have a lot of mobs spawning there, then you need something for it to rebound off and ricochet backwards. So it's got a positive and a negative, which is why I've added it onto both sides. And then the final change that I've noted is that Ahoy Mateys has had a critical rate buff dropped from 15% to 10%, as well as losing both its MP and HP buffs upon summoning. While I recognise that overall HP and MP isn't as relevant as it was back in the day, it sucks to see a decrease like this happen both to crit rate as well as HP and MP, because I just think it's a cool summon to have, the mobs take on status elements for you as well. And I just think while there were some that had worse stats than others, and I believe those stats are still staggered between them so you can still get better versions of each crewman, it sucks to see that they've decided to drop the crit rate. I don't think it really affects me personally because I think I already had 100% accurate rate, but yeah, it's just a weird change. So that's really all the changes there. I'll include the link to the actual update page so you can scroll over each individual class if you wanted to. I plan on doing videos on the Jet and the Xenon as well, because both of them had skill changes as well. The Jet seems to have had a particularly big one, so that'll be interesting to cover. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll keep you guys up to date with all the skill changes coming through. See you later.